Okay, whoa.
I'm the meat chef.
Well, I don't like Facebook because I can't find a job.
Do I smoke meat? You go and betrayed me.
Boy, I'm in a good place.
I didn't mean for this to happen.
That's right, I'm married with a family.
Now tell me, does that make any sense to you?
Damian's? You're Hot Damian.
I'm Hot Damian?
Yeah.
Well, this is
I can't
this is an
believe-
uncomfortable way to begin.
And
I was going to say, I can't believe this is how we're starting episode 1 of the podcast, is calling one of the hosts hotter than the other
I
two.
am not saying that one is hotter than the other. I am saying that someone said Hot Damian.
But
Yeah.
the word is out there, is what's concerning.
Why are you thinking it's a comparison? No, we weren't talking about
That's
Casey and Damian, and then someone went Hot Damian?
Ugly Casey?
You mean very regular Casey?
Yes.
I think I'm really showing my
Regular Casey?
Oh,
Yeah, that one.
I'm really
Oh.
showing my insecurities right now, right off the bat.
That's
No.
funny.
Hot Damian. And what's funny,
Who said it?
if you think about it, is there. I don't know another Damian. So
Yeah. Well, in the comedy community.
is there other Damians?
Not here.
Well, they're not hot.
Yeah.
So.
Well, just Damian Lemon, but he's like successful.
I was going to say all the other Damians are black.
Well, yeah.
Because Damian is a notorious. It's actually the two of you guys both have notorious black names.
We got real Oreo.
I mean, you have a joke about it.
What are you talking about?
Dwayne and Damian. Those are like,
and Holmes to
also black.
to like close it off. Damian Holmes. I mean, you look me up. I mean, I've told you guys this, but it's like you look me up on Facebook, and it's me because we have mutual friends, and then like 9 black guys.
Yeah.
I haven't Googled Dwayne Cullen. I haven't looked it up.
No, I
Is there
pop
other
up.
ones?
I'm easy.
Did I ever tell you guys? There's also Joseph Roberts has a friend named Damian Holmes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he's like this juggalo from like
No
Insane
way.
Clown Posse.
No
Lives
way.
in like Vermont or whatever.
Oh,
and he
man.
posted some shit on Facebook that was like, "Yo, like crazy shit, cops killing people," and someone saw it. And they
Damian
thought-
Holmes?
Yeah, and they're like, someone saw it and they're like, "This seems really out of character for Damian." They're like, "Is this you?" And I'm like, "No, that's Joseph Roberts' friend."
Oh, man.
I think there are other Dwayne Cullens, but I'm like the most popular of all of them. So
Nice.
those other Dwayne
Nice.
Cullens are nobodies.
Yeah. A bunch of cucks. Casey McGowan's are all, for the most part, women.
Really?
Yeah. Casey, girl's name, usually.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a majority girl's name.
Actually,
I would say.
I don't feel like that.
Really?
Yeah.
You think it's more men?
Yeah.
Do you know another? Well, we know one other
I know
Casey. That's a
mostly
friend of
male
of
Caseys.
ours.
Yeah, I feel like I know mostly male
Casey,
cases, but
for a girl, kind of feels like that fun kind of male name for a girl.
Oh, right. Like when a girl's name is Charlie or something.
Yeah.
Or like Andy. Andy I love as a woman's name. If you're
Andy.
named Andy as a woman, that's
oh,
it.
I went to college with a girl named Andy.
Right?
Yeah, yeah.
A-N-D-I or A-N-D-Y?
I.
Yeah. That's
yeah.
a thing.
Yeah, it's
a
always
thing.
I.
I like
That's
it.
the thing. Oh, you like it?
I like
Oh,
it.
yeah.
Well, it's like they spell it. They spell it with the I if it's like a,
My
it's
grandma's
like a
name was
girl's
Chris. You'd probably like her.
I kind of would. Honestly,
Oh,
you know
that's
what?
cool too.
You know what another one is? Danny. That's another girl.
Danny's a good one.
Yeah.
That was I hooked up with a girl named Danny.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh,
We saw
boy.
500 Days of Summer together.
You've told me about this. The
Yeah,
first
yeah.
date, right?
First date.
Not a good first date movie.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest.
But
Remember-
the trailers make it seem like
It's a rom-com,
these people
yeah.
like fall in love, and then you watch the movie, and this guy's like, he's like, "You're supposed to love me, bitch." And she's like, "Whoa."
Oh man.
I'm like, "Let's get out of here, Danny."
Yeah. That's me and Dwayne just rewatched.
I
On a
haven't seen
Saturday.
it before.
Yeah.
was your first
oh,
time?
that was your first time. That's
yeah,
right.
And you were
That's
telling
right.
me that it was really about. It's supposed to. What were you saying?
I was saying
it
that
was-
there's like a new. I'm not saying that. I
Well, the
believe this.
original interpretation of the film was that like this girl sucks.
Yeah, people would
and
say
everyone's
that.
on the guy's side.
People would watch it
now
and say
people are
that.
like, actually, he sucks because she's laid it all down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I watch it and I'm like, no, she does suck, but why it's not good if you want to get like, I don't know, wokish about it. It's the writing, because they write her as a bad female character, I feel like.
Well, yeah, that's the main thing. She, as a character, sucks so hard.
Yeah.
She's nothing but wouldn't it be cool to date a woman that is super hot and likes the stuff you like? But she has none of her own voice is in that movie. Yeah, there's never a scene where she's like at home with her roommate. Showing us who she is.
She doesn't have a life outside of him.
No.
Yeah.
But it's the Bechdel test. Honestly, that's what it is. Honestly, I didn't know what that was until literally every open mic comedian was like, just this joke passed the Bechdel test. And this is how stupid I am. I had to look it up.
Yeah.
And then I know what that is due to open mic comedy.
That's a smart person thing to do.
To look something up you don't know
what this is. Acknowledge it and then research it.
Yeah. You hear that, folks? I'm smart.
What was I going to say about that, though?
But you're on the side of that she sucks. Watching it.
Yeah, she sucks, but she sucks because it's like that thing where at some point you are accountable, because you cannot be blind to hurting someone's feelings. Even though she's like, "Hey, we're just sleeping around," and he's like, "Okay." At some point you have to step, like, that's what being considerate is stepping outside yourself.
Right.
And acknowledging someone else's feelings and being like, oh, I'm not actually doing anything, but I know this is hurting them.
Yeah, because...
But I'm not defending him either, because he also sucked. So.
Right. That's the thing. It's like the two of them together made for a really bad situation.
Yeah.
In that film.
Mm-hmm.
So... anyways, welcome to Crush Boys, the first episode. We should probably introduce it.
Probably an introduction.
This is going to be our Saturday podcast. Where we kind of we usually hang around on the couch Saturday morning, so we're just gonna share it with you guys now.
We call it the morning recap before we even had a podcast.
Yeah,
like we would come home all from our nights of crushing, and then we'd be like, all right, what'd you get into?
Yeah.
And then Dwayne would be like, I had a bad set. And then it'd get hard. You know what I mean?
I fucking ate shit all night last night.
I'm kidding. He crushes, guys. He's the funniest guy I know. But we would do that. So we were like, let's just get the podcast going. And we might, this is episode 1, but me and Damian were thinking we can even live ask you this, but we were thinking, because it's morning podcast, weekend, what if we did ones sometimes that are at night when we have a few beers?
Oh yeah,
and we're
we can definitely do that.
It'd be like the crushing pod.
Yeah,
and
I
then
almost
this is
bought
the
some
recap.
beers for this tonight.
Oh,
today.
Yeah. I got a bottle of wine, but that doesn't really feel
let's
appropriate.
pop it right now.
You have that whiskey you haven't finished yet.
Yeah, the fancy whiskey that my friend Shelby gave me. It was from brewed. Do they brew whiskey? No, they distill whiskey.
All
I
alcohol is
don't know.
distilled.
Yeah, but they don't brew it at all.
Well, no, you have to brew it in the same way that you are heating up grains or whatever sugars to mix with yeast to make alcohol. It's brewed in that same way.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, what's the whiskey flavor? It's they put it in wood or something?
Whiskey, yeah. No. So
they put
that's
it in
my
lumber.
understanding.
Whiskey, it depends. I think in Ireland, one of the rules is that it has to be aged in American oak barrels.
Oh, cool.
But a lot of whiskey is aged in like port barrels and stuff. So that's how you get the red colors is from old like wines and shit.
Yeah.
Point is that whiskey that she gave me is crazy strong.
Yeah, I looked at the label. It's 57%.
Yeah, it's
it's high.
It's super whiskey.
That was when we had our party.
That was my birthday party.
People probably light that on fire.
You think?
Well, 151 you can light on fire. I don't know about.
That's yeah.
Can you guys see me on that camera? Am I looking away? Should I be cheating out to the camera every now and then?
Oh, no.
Look to the audience at home.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Break the fourth wall.
Yeah. Well, I pointed at the camera before, but who knows if we'll keep that part in that whole 500 Days of Summer discussion.
Why wouldn't we have that?
We could have it.
Is
I
it
thought
not
it was-
earnest?
No, I thought it was
You think
super
it's a
earnest.
bad opening?
Yeah, we should
Just
definitely
like
keep
To
the
a
hot Damian
podcast
part.
called Crush Boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, we open the podcast by saying that one of the guys is hot,
Yeah,
and
you
then the
don't-
other one, and that we don't agree with the woke new women's perspective of 500 Days of Summer. That's how we get. We really isolate our fan
no,
base.
we sort of agree. It's like we agree that he sucks. But
Yeah,
she also
Sucks.
But it's not necessarily her fault. It could be the fault of the writers.
I think it's a writing. It's a
Yeah,
writing
yeah.
issue.
It's a writing
It's like
issue.
a trope.
But
that
also,
they
I feel
were
like
still
in
doing.
life,
Yeah.
movies are not life, but in life, usually when something like that happens, both people usually suck. There's stuff going on both ends always in that type of scenario. There's like somebody that like can't get it out of their head that they're into this person, and the other person is like stringing them along, even though they're not intentionally, and then they're maybe like that happens all the time.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's maybe what they were going for, but they just
definitely.
swing and a miss there. Otherwise, the only scene that holds up in that movie to me is the expectation reality part. That part is great.
Yeah, I like the movie. I think the movie's
Yeah,
still
I do like it as
overall
a
good.
movie. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I
It
think
looks
there's
like-
there's issues, but you know.
Yeah, he looks like you when you were like
No.
when you were wayfish.
Uh-oh.
No.
He has that like indie look from 2007 that you were the epitome of.
No one knows what you're talking about. We have to show
I'll-
pull up an
Well,
image.
photo.
Well, we
photo.
got we got video, so you know when I edit this, I'm putting it up. People will know exactly what I mean when
Wayfish
they see like the photo of you and like I think there's a photo of you wearing a sweater with a striped button down underneath, and you got like long hair. And you were super thin.
Oh yeah.
Well, you got like a
Standing
little bit
out on
of-
the beach, looking down.
Yeah.
That one.
Yes. You were Joseph Gordon-Levitt back then.
You got like the waves. You got his hair waves or something.
Well, that's what we were gonna say. So this just came up. So I'm trying to grow my hair long up top. Damian obviously has the Keanu Reeves hair. It looks great. But now Dwayne this morning is saying you're thinking about growing it out.
No, I'm not really.
No?
You're not really
Why
Well,
the immediate
remember-
backtrack?
Because
Yo.
remember when I moved here, it was all grown out. All I had to do
what
is
I meant,
remember
yeah.
that, and that was bad.
But it
I
wasn't
didn't
cut
look
right. You
good.
got to
I
get.
looked like a professor, Professor Dwayne.
Yeah, but you were wearing shirts that had elbow patches, and that that's on you
Well,
at
yeah.
that point.
Oh, those
I
shirts.
looked wild.
Yeah, it
You
grows
know?
out.
Well, it's just like I don't
Doesn't
know.
go
I don't know
down.
what I was trying to do because I used to have shaggy hair and it looked cool on me when I was like 23 or whatever. It looked cool enough.
I think shaggy hair it looks cool on 23-year-olds.
But
Yeah.
I was like, I'm gonna do that. I'm 30. I'm gonna grow my hair out long just to see before
some 30-year-olds have
I
long
go
hair. though.
on this
Yeah.
path of 30 to see if I can do long hair.
Mm-hmm.
And
And
I
here we
could
are.
not. Yeah.
And here we are.
I made it far too. It was long. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, my problem with growing, because I'm growing it out long, I don't know if the video can see, but it's like super long on the top and super thick. But the problem that I'm dealing with is it's crazy hot right now in the summer.
Yeah.
It's like brutal. I get out of the shower, my hair is wet the whole day. It does not dry. I have wet
Takes
hair
forever
for,
to dry.
Yeah.
That's the one
Yeah.
thing.
You got to get a blow dryer.
But heat damages hair. You're not supposed to do it all the time.
Oh, bitch.
yo, you know I've been watching.
Look at this elegant hair.
You know, like half of my YouTube recommendations are now like men's long hair haircuts. I'm like, is this what it's supposed to look like? Is this right?
Dude, I have this friend back in Seattle, and he puts money into his hair.
Really?
You have
Yeah.
to have nice hair, I feel
Yeah, you
like.
gotta.
Look at women in general. Have you ever asked like your girlfriend
No, I
if
know.
like dating a girl and she's like, I'm gonna go get a haircut, and
Mm-hmm.
then I'm like, oh, how much was it? And it's like $250, and you're like, oh my god,
Yeah.
it's
Well,
wild.
That's what happened when I moved here. Is I think my hair was so bad because I just kept getting split ends, and I used to not get split ends. That is
Yeah.
age.
Yeah.
My hair just can't hang
Oh
on.
yeah, I got split ends. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we see it in the shower.
And you get
I do that. It's like it reminds me of living. I used to live with an ex-girlfriend, and
I know.
it's like that. But I was living with way more women, so it was way worse.
I know. Every once in a while, I'll go in that bathroom, and now it'll be the thing with like
It's
living a
definitely-
girl.
Yeah.
There's just hair just like on the bathroom, like on the ceiling. You're like, how'd that float up there?
Well, you're rinsing your hair, and one just.
No, yeah,
just gets to the-
you're bending down, and then you're doing like this glorious.
I do the coming out of the pool hair flip.
Yeah, having long hair, it's a commitment. It's like you need to accept that time is going to be put in it. Time and money.
Yeah.
Are like you just have to accept that. So if you're ready for that, then I say grow it out, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know. You just gave me you were like, what's this?
Because you're like, my hair is so long, and it's like it's not that long.
But I'm growing it out though.
Yeah.
If you were to and I sent you guys that photo, but if you were to put product in my hair and put it up, it looks crazy long.
Right.
And it sticks straight up. It goes like up to here. It's
Yeah.
wild.
But a lot of those like Mad Men haircuts are like
crazy long.
Yes, pretty long. So it's like my hair was when it was quote unquote short.
Yeah.
Was probably about as long as yours, but it would just be
Pushed
and, like,
back.
kind of to the side.
And that's why mine looks long because I let it just go down in the front. I don't push it off to the side or anything.
Hasn't reached your eyes yet.
No, it has. If I push it straight
Is it?
down, it
Oh,
goes
really?
into my eyes. Yeah.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying. My hair's deceptively long.
Yeah, it
It's
is.
not how it seems.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. So, how was your night?
Good.
It was good. You? You had the house to yourself.
I was chilling.
Big chill.
Big chill.
The big chill.
Yeah.
The big chill.
You know,
That's what we call when like the weekend. Sometimes me and Damo wake up and we're like, "This is it. This is the big chill."
This is the big chill.
That means you just don't leave the house.
Yeah, I got home at like 8 and just watched Veronica
Yeah, you didn't
Mars.
say bye to me last night.
Yo.
Yeah,
nice.
I'm sorry. I was thinking about it. But
well,
you
you had something going on. I don't know if you want to say.
what was I?
Well, you had a little bit of an emergency happening.
Oh,
I don't know if you want to
a little
say.
a little bit of backstory. The three of us, if you've seen the YouTube show Hot Ones,
Hey guys,
yeah.
the audio stopped recording. I think.
So brief
back.
technical difficulty.
Yeah.
Now we're
Actually,
back
there
in
was no difficulty. It was all.
well, it's the first one.
Yeah. It was actually all okay.
Damn.
I thought you were about to be like, it was all Casey's fault.
Well,
okay.
it
I'd be
was
like,
all
I-
Casey being like, "Oh no, we're not recording," and then we were recording.
Yeah,
What
I'm so
happens-
sorry
yeah.
that I set all the stuff up this morning. That's my bad.
yeah.
Sorry that you just rolled in and then
know.
ate food and then pooped before the podcast.
All those cords were really laborious to plug in. I'm sure.
Hey, I also set up the. Do you even know what program we're recording on?
Premiere.
Fuck.
Now this is the podcast.
I don't know. It seems like
Band.
this first episode, me and Dwayne are going to become villains. We're going to become enemies.
the nemesis.
We're finding out we've been
dynamic.
friends for over a year, but we find out our true dynamic
on the podcast. I'm gonna have to move to that couch.
Anyways, we had a bit of a misunderstanding technically. A technical misunderstanding, and we are back. So you were telling a story about the bomb.
Be sure to. Oh, go ahead.
Right. So me and Dwayne were at the Creek in the Cave, and we tried the bomb hot sauce from Hot Ones, and
The night before.
it
Thursday night.
was really hot. It was an awful experience.
Yeah,
And
hated
then
it.
I thought I was gonna have diarrhea in the morning, but then it went away. It did the Seinfeld. I lost it.
Yeah.
But then at the Creek.
Yeah, I ran into you in the morning.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
super late for work, and I see Damian. He's like, "You need a shower?" And I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "You got to go first." He had like a prepped.
And then it went away.
Oh, you didn't have to go when you got home?
No.
Oh,
Yeah. So
interesting.
then it wasn't until I had to have horrible diarrhea at the Creek, and then. So the reason I left you there is because I thought it might happen again. The reason I didn't say goodbye is I was like, "Oh, I felt it brewing."
I would say
Also,
top.
I'm diarrhea
you
king,
put
by
my
the way.
name in the bucket when
Yeah.
you still had to go to do diarrhea.
I
So,
didn't super feel it yet.
Oh,
but,
okay.
But yeah.
I would say top
move.
5 worst place to have diarrhea in the city.
Creek
It's in the
Cave.
top 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
No, dude, I have seen some awful bathrooms.
that one's pretty bad.
Of the
It is
places
pretty
we
bad.
frequent, that's probably the worst.
Yeah.
That's probably
that's
the
true.
worst one. I had diarrhea at the Creek about 3 weeks ago,
Yeah.
and I hadn't got called yet, and I went
Yeah,
diarrhea. I still haven't been called. I come out of the bathroom. I was like, I just have to go home.
Yeah.
I lost. That day was an L. I just had to take an L.
And it's
that day.
crazy because those are solo bathrooms. You got to close the door. Normally that's amazing.
No, it's the opposite. It makes it worse.
Really?
You're like
solo
No,
bathroom?
I'm
That's the
saying at
best.
the Creek, it's weird
Oh,
because normally it's
everyone's-
Normally
great,
that should be great.
but then you get in there and you're like, somehow it's heightening how I feel.
yeah, it's wet. Dude, I was sweating.
It's
I was
like-
sweating
yeah.
in there, man. I don't know. It was like a heat chamber. I was like,
Dude,
It heightens it.
I
You're
will
like,
say, though, I never use public bathrooms for shitting. I never do.
I don't
It's
if I
crazy.
if I
can-
don't have to.
If I don't
but
have to, yeah.
Here's what I do love though: is if you have diarrhea, all my qualms are out the window, and I can truly enjoy the public bathroom experience.
Dude, you'll do it
because
on the
you
street.
know it's
I can't
already
even.
gross.
I
so
can't
you're
even
like,
care about how I sound because I feel so good. You know.
Do you guys, if you guys are in a stall with you're pooping, right?
Yeah.
You got the stall. Say
Yeah.
it's 2 stalls in a bathroom, like a work office or something. And then one person comes in, but you're already king pooping. You're the king of the bathroom, but then they come in and sit down. Do you guys like wait for them to leave, or do you just keep pooping the way you're pooping? Like, do you just keep?
Depends.
I'll wait. I'll try to wait.
You try to wait. That
try to wait.
aligns with what I know about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
That's
about you?
Typical of me too. Yeah.
It just depends. For me,
It depends. If they sit down and they start having trouble, then now we're both waiting each other out.
Yeah.
I tend to be the one to wait someone out though. But
I try to poop faster to give them their own time.
So you just let loose. You're like,
Go nuts.
If I worked in an office and there was stall toilets, that would be the worst experience.
That's what I
I
have.
should not do that. It should
should be solo.
Yeah, private rooms for
Yeah.
pooping.
Not only do I have
It's
that,
especially in an office environment. I don't know. Why is it suddenly so normal to walk into a bathroom and be so naked and shit in front of each other?
Yeah,
Why is
yeah,
that? And then we have to have all this decorum once we step outside.
You know
I
what?
want the decorum in the bathroom also. I don't want.
you know what one of my bosses does?
Uh-huh.
Not my direct boss, but like a guy that's high up in my company. If you're in the bathroom peeing or pooping, and then you come out of the bathroom to wash your hands, and he's like washing his hands, or he's like, "What's up?" And he looks right at you. Sometimes he's even done this. I was peeing at the urinal. He comes in. He stands right next to me, also starts peeing, and he goes, "So how was your weekend?"
That's
and I was
crazy.
like, "Dude, don't even look at me
Dude,
right
that
now."
has to be a move, right?
That's a power move.
That's
You know what that is?
definitely
That's a
a power move.
motherfucking CEO move.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
CEOs look at
I'm
you
pulling my
and
dick out and I'm pissing.
and I'm
What
talking to
what
you.
are you gonna do? About it?
yo,
Does your guys stream stop if someone
of
comes
course.
in? Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
of course.
People are like, "Oh, how do you stop your stream?" I'm like, I don't know, fear, social fear.
how do I stop this? I had a guy at my old job. He came in, just the biggest dick energy. He came in on the phone.
On the phone.
On
you
the
gotta
phone,
love-
rolls up to the stall, or no, the urinal. I'm peeing. He rolls up to the urinal next to me, and is talking about. He's like, "Yo, yeah." So we're gonna hit like Miami. We're like, yeah, we got all this coke and shit.
Whoa.
And we're just gonna be doing Jack and Coke, man, Jack and
Damn.
Coke. And I was like, my stream was non-existent.
Yeah, it wraps
You dried up.
Yeah, I had to zip up and pretend I was done.
Have you guys ever been to a sporting event, like in a giant stadium? Not even a sporting event, but have you gone to like a concert at a big arena?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, especially at football stadiums. I went to the one in New England. I went to Foxborough, which is where the Patriots play.
Yeah.
I went there for a soccer game for my brother's bachelor party. What they do, they have urinals with no separators.
Oh
so
yeah,
it's just
that's
like
the,
the
worst.
line of men peeing. And I remember I walked in. I'm pretty good at it.
That's
I
why I'm
will
not a
say
sports
I don't
fan.
I don't like to. Yeah, it's funny. I don't like to like. If I don't have to pee next to someone, I won't.
Yeah.
You know, I'll always go to the furthest one. You know what I do in public? Like I was at the airport last weekend. I go to the stall to pee.
Yeah.
You know, that way you're boxed in.
Yeah.
So, but and that one,
That's
when I
such
went
a
to-
weak move, though.
Yo.
The
What
stall
is-
peer. That's
What
a
is
weak
this?
You don't like the stall pee?
You just said
I
that
do
you
it, but it's a weak move.
You were just saying that you literally can't even pee with someone
I'm
next to
saying
you.
I literally pee in the stalls. I just also
Oh, you
think
think
it's
it's
a
weak? You
Yeah.
think it's
Oh,
weak?
yeah. We
I
are
actually
weak
think it's
men,
I don't
but-
think it's.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't know. I actually disagree. I think it's a courtesy. I think you should have your own space to pee. You know?
Well, everyone else there doesn't feel that
Well,
way.
I think we should have more privacy. It's crazy. Urinals
I'm
is-
blown away at
is
how many
intense.
people use it. It's like, to me, it's like flying. It's like, how are you guys okay with this?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone goes into those urinals and just pees, and I'm like, how are you guys?
You know what the
able
thing
to
is?
do-
It's just like flying, though. You just can't think about it. You have to
Yeah.
like block it out. It's just like flying. You have to be like,
yeah.
I'm not 35,000 feet in the air, and there's not a penis 5 feet from me. You just you have to think that way. You have to be like, I'm not in the air, and there's not a man.
Well, those are the times.
There's not
they
a
can do it.
175-year-old man. It's
Yeah.
always the oldest men that pee
So,
right next to you.
I have this memory as a child of peeing at the King Dome. Do you guys know the King Dome?
No.
So the King Dome was in Seattle, but I think it was like
Here, keep
world
talking.
famous because it was like one of the biggest dome type. It was, or maybe it was because it was all concrete,
Uh-huh.
and it was just the baseball stadium. But I remember, and I don't know if this is true, but I literally remember there being a circular urinal that you could pee into.
Thanks, buddy.
So you could pee across from someone else peeing.
Wait, you're making eye contact?
Yeah, you could. Now, I've been telling that as like a thing. Like, do you guys remember this? And so many people are like, yes. But recently a friend was like, no. And he's like 10 years older than me. He's, no, Dwayne, you're wrong. It was a circular hand washing station. But for whatever reason, my mind, I remember looking down at other dicks being like, I can't pee in this.
That's like, this is
Maybe
like
it's because it's like people are washing their hands.
Yeah.
I can't pee in
Well, it's
this.
like the trough. Like peeing in a trough is like.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say,
but
Dwayne's,
the trough is kind of fun, though. It's like you feel like a real fucking animal.
Dwayne's memory of this thing, by the way, is it's like that Bearstein Bears versus Bearstain Bears, where it's like all of a sudden you're older and you're like, I thought it was dicks, and then you're like, it's hands. And then you talk to other people, it's like, it was Bearstain. No, it's actually hands. It wasn't dicks at all.
What's that phenomenon?
Oh, it's called
not phenomenon.
I don't
know.
it's definitely got a name, but it's
Mandela.
yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Mandela effect.
Well, it's like what's it called? Forrest Whitaker. His name is one of them.
What do people think Forrest Whitaker's name is?
It was like no, not Forrest Whitaker. Oh, that's shitty. Oh boy,
Here we
This is
go.
like bad.
Here we go.
Lawrence
what
Fish-
happens when
Lawrence-
3 white
Lawrence-
boys start a podcast?
Lawrence Fishburne.
Oh.
People thought
Yeah.
it was like Lawrence Fishburne. Like the way it's spelled is different than what people.
Fishborn or
Fishborn
something.
or Fishburne.
Yeah.
It's one of those, and people are like, everybody's like, it's born, but then you look it up and it's like burn.
Yeah, first burn.
Yeah.
But I knew it was
First burn.
First burn.
First burn.
I knew it was Fishburne.
Yeah, I mean that's one of those. I don't know.
I've heard of that before, though.
Yeah, it's a
people-
thing.
Yeah,
The Bearstein versus Bearstain is the biggest one
right.
because everyone I knew growing
No,
up
I
was
remember one day being a kid looking at it and being like, oh, it's spelled weird. Because I was like writing a book report or something.
like on it. Yeah,
Yeah.
But
it's
even
stained.
as a kid, you thought
Bearstain.
it was.
Yeah. I was like, it's spelled because it's you say Berenstein, and it's whether
Yeah.
it's pronounced that or not, it's Berenstain is
the
how
way it's written, like Stain.
But even in the
Yeah.
cartoons, I think they used to say Berenstein.
Yeah.
I can't remember the cartoon. I just remember the books. when I was a
But
kid.
I remember it's one of those things because you don't look at the end; it's all fucking cursive. So,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
oh man, I used to love Berenstein Bears. I was a
I don't
big
know-
picture book guy.
When was Berenstein
I'm
Bears?
still a picture book guy.
Yeah.
If it like, you know what I love? Those books where it's got, when you pick up a book and it's paperback and then you flip through and it's all those yellow kind of soft pages and then you hit those white hard ones in the middle and you're like, nice. This is going to got stuff for me to look
I
at.
hated
It's got stuff for me to look
What?
at,
The
dude.
adult books
Yeah,
with like
dude.
real photos in the
Yeah,
middle. No, I'm not
dude.
into that.
I don't know. I mean, I read like comics, so it's like I get it.
You get it?
I love.
No, but I didn't like if it was different pages because this is going to sound weird. It was like breaking the fourth wall of the book. I like the pencil sketches you'd get in and around in the same color paper.
Yeah.
You know, I like those. Like, I feel like what's it called? Roald Dahl chapter books. They always had like pencil sketches in them.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
they did.
Yeah, I
Oh,
like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Roald Dahl. That was James and the Giant Peach, right?
Yeah.
And Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
Those were his. Those were his
BFG,
opus.
Matilda.
Oh,
BFG.
Yeah, Big Friendly Giant.
Oh, that was
The
big fat.
Spielberg movie, right?
Big fat.
Couple
giant.
years
Yeah.
ago?
Apparently,
That
it
no
wasn't
one
very
saw?
good. Yeah.
Wasn't that somebody's like? It was. It wasn't a bit, but it was like big fucking giant. That was like people
Yeah.
thought it stood for big fucking ass giant.
I remember as a kid, that's what I thought it was. The Big fucking
It's
giant.
a PG-13
Probably
movie.
was,
It's the
though.
one thing that look at big fucking.
I mean,
giant. Or just say BFG.
Roald Dahl wrote tons of like adult books and stuff, so he like probably had that humor to it. You
Yeah.
know, he probably was like, you know, big fucking giant.
Well, there's always like those. It's funny, like the
What is it? Friendly.
Yeah.
the adult humor in kid stuff. There's always those YouTube compilations where it's like jokes you didn't see in
Yeah.
SpongeBob, and then it's like a compilation where it's like, you know, it's like SpongeBob's like, Patrick, what's in your pants? And he's like, oh no, it's my dick.
Patrick.
It's not that exclusive. It's not that explicit, but
Just YouTube Patrick jacking off.
Hey, Patrick, what were you doing today? Oh, I was jacking off.
Jokes you didn't get.
And we're sitting there like, yo, how did we miss this? How did we miss this? Hey, let's go make Krabby Patties, but first I gotta jack off. And as kids, you're like, yeah.
It's like I heard Bernstein.
Oh, you know what? You know what we should bring up? We were just talking about
it's
this.
Wait.
We should start a segment called Dwayne's Delayed Riffs.
Dwayne stops to think.
He's like, wait, I got one to add too. Hold on, I got it.
I was doing like a Mandela thing where
The way he's setting it up. Folks, if this isn't the funniest riff you've heard all podcast, then turn it off, honestly. Here we go. What?
No, SpongeBob SquarePants isn't actually a kid's show. We grew up thinking it was.
But it's all
We're
just
like,
jacking
yo,
off
you guys
jokes.
Remember?
Yeah, it was R-less the whole time.
So that's what I was getting.
That was good. That was good. Dude, you want to bump mics? Well, I was going to say, we were just talking about this. It's almost in the Mandela effect realm. But
Yeah.
you and I were just talking, because you and I are like, for people that are new listeners, it's a brand new podcast. Just a little backstory. Me and Damian, we're the same age. We're like 27, 28.
Yeah.
Dwayne is 32. And me and Damian, when we were in middle school, which was like 2005, 2006.
Yeah.
Everybody said jacking off.
Right.
And now, as adults, it's all jerking off.
No,
Yeah.
no one says jerking off.
No, dude. The
Bro.
people
Dude,
mostly
but
say
everyone
jerking
said
off.
jerking off.
You'd say like, "Hey, I'm gonna go jerk off."
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
No,
People
no,
always,
jerk off is like that dude's a jerk off.
No,
No,
well, no. This is
no.
this is a weirdly like.
It's a generational
generational
gap.
gap.
No,
that-
no.
Yeah.
I was talking to people about this last night. Well, I don't know if they agree with you.
But I have noticed people have been saying jacking off more now.
Yeah, yeah.
People
Like I
have
saw a
been
YouTube
always
video.
saying jacking off.
I don't know. I feel like
think
it went away.
Yeah, this is weird because I think I have heard jerking off for the most part since middle school.
I might hear jerking it, not jerking off.
Well, you go
Jerking off sounds so weird. I'm
I
gonna go
feel
jerk
like-
off. You don't
Interesting.
jerk off. You jack off. You jerk it.
You
jerk
do
it,
jerk
the-
it. You do jerk it. You're right.
You
Yeah.
But
don't
I-
jerk something off.
My mom was asking me about.
I could jack something off. I can't jerk it off. Jerking is like a non-committal movement, you know? It's no finality to it.
Oh,
It's
fuck.
a jerk.
You can't jerk in any direction.
Yeah.
What were you going to say?
My mom was asking me what this guy's one of my friend's Twitter was about. I was like, oh, it's like and she's like smoking weed and jerking off. I'm like, whoa, but she said jerking off.
Oh, nice. Oh, she said jerking off.
Yeah, she didn't say jacking off.
Oh.
Weirdly, one time my mom,
Your mom
as a
is
kid,
young at heart.
one time as a kid, my mom was like, she got mad at me, and she was like, "You just sit around and jerk off all day."
Oh, like you're fucking around.
Yeah, but I think she also like maybe it's in the term of like you're masturbating, you're
Yeah,
jacking
Did
off.
she mean that?
Jerking off all day.
Well, she was like, she was like yelling at me, like the way that a mom is like, "Stop fucking around" or something like that. You
Yeah,
know?
yeah.
She was like, "You're just gonna stay home and jerk off all day."
Yeah.
And as a kid, I was like, "Yes, yes."
And I used to work with this guy, and like in the shop, and anytime he's this like tiny El Salvadorian dude, and anytime I was like, "Hey, is there anything else to do?" and he'd just look at me with like, he didn't want to give me something, you know, he was just a coworker. I was being a dumb kid, and he'd be like,
Oh, really?
he would
Gross.
just act it out.
Just do the act
He'd
out?
spit on his hand and
Oh
go,
my god.
He did the spit. The spit is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that's
Or-
too
or
much.
That's
sometimes
wild.
That's
he'd
too
go,
much.
and
Ooh,
sit like he was
Oh my-
sitting on his thumb. Yeah.
damn, dude. Well, it's good to know
Fun
that
little
guy
dude.
he knew about it.
awesome.
He knew about his G spot. He gave that away.
Yeah, it's
This
very
move really
progressive.
gives away that like he knows where the male G spot is.
I will say this: I love jacking off now.
Jacking off is so
Just
funny.
isolate that.
It's so funny.
I love jacking
That's
off
so
is
funny.
That's
funny.
the first clip we posted
Why
for the
is
love
Instagram.
jacking
jacking
off
off.
funny? Jacking off is
Well, it's just like, well, I was talking to a fellow comic, and whatever. He told me he got a concussion from jacking off, and when he said, he goes, I go, how'd you do it? And he goes, I I was jacking off, and it just made me laugh. And it would have made me laugh less if he said jerking off, I think.
Yeah.
There was just something the way
Yeah.
it
Are we going
hits.
to talk about comics? Are we going to mention names and
We
stuff?
drop names. I don't
Maybe
know.
names. It's honestly one of those things where, like, he told me that story, and, like, he didn't say it in confidence. Everyone heard it in the room.
Yeah.
Like,
but
literally,
no, I'm just curious.
you heard it. You overheard it.
If we're going to, I'm just curious how we're going to.
Yeah.
I think with friends, like anybody, like
Depends.
What was
I've been
what was
mentioned on
funny about
podcasts
him
before,
saying
so-
that though is that it sounded like a joke because he always just says shit like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
But then he was like very serious.
How'd you get a
And he, like,
concussion?
held his head.
Eating ass, shit like that. Yeah.
Eating ass.
Yeah. Well, I don't want to say that, but I do think phonetically there's something about jacking off that's really funny.
Yeah, I think it's because we're from the jerking off family that it's.
How about
But maybe
this?
maybe we've just been mishearing. Maybe this is like a Mandela effect thing. Maybe we've just been mishearing it this whole
Well, how
time.
about this? I'll post this when we post this podcast.
Hey, you guys, is it jacking off or jerking off?
Yeah, write in.
Yeah.
I'll set up an email and everything
Yeah.
for the account. So
Go
like,
to the
write in.
website www.crushboyspodcast.com.
Well, now we have to make that on the website because
Oh,
we
no.
officially said it on the
Oh, no.
podcast. But no, I do think if you are listening, me and Damian are on the side of that it was jacking off, then it became jerking off,
Mm-hmm.
and now jacking off is back. Dwayne, if you're on his side, let us know if you think jacking off. Let us know if you've been jacking off the whole time.
Or if you jacked off when you were a kid, then you jerked off, and then you rediscovered jacking off.
Yeah.
Like you jacked off in middle school when your buddy was like, "Have you heard of, dude, this is one of those moments. Did you guys ever have that moment where you finally brought it up to your friends in middle school?
yeah.
Isn't
Oh,
it such a
that's so funny.
specific
Yeah,
thing?
yeah.
It is such a specific thing. I'll
Hey man,
never
do
forget.
do you jack off?
Yeah, it's like this
Yeah.
unspoken thing. We're all jacking off.
Yeah.
And then one day, one of your friend comes up to you and is like, "Hey man, I was just like, do you ever?" And then you already know before they say it, and
Yeah.
you kind of do that thing where you're like, "Yeah."
Oh, I remember the inciting incident for this conversation was in middle school. One of my buds was named Casey.
Oh, whoa,
Yeah, yeah.
whoa.
Yo,
Fuck.
Casey McGuan. Pretty close. Pretty close.
McGuan?
yeah.
That's like Sam Ovens.
It was pretty close.
That is super
Yeah.
close.
And
Oh,
he,
man.
McGuan?
yeah. Dude.
Was it spelled C-A-S-E-Y?
I forget. I think it was like MC like Guan. I don't know.
That's fun.
McGuan.
Yeah.
Casey McGuan. That's crazy. That
But-
is like, that's
Yeah.
Sam Ovens for
Yeah,
sure.
But I was hanging with his twin brother. We're like in the living room, just like playing Halo or something. And I'm like, "Yo, where did Casey go?" And he's like, "Oh, is he in the bathroom?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Is there like Linkin Park playing in there?" I was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "He's jerking off."
And he said jerking off.
Well, he probably said jacking off. It was middle school. He probably said jacking
Yeah, I'm
off.
gonna be watching a TV shit like some movie set in the aughts, and it's like they say jerking off, and I'm like, not historically accurate.
I also remember a specific story where I was talking to my friend Brandon, and Brandon was like, we were talking about jacking off, and he was like, "Doesn't it feel when you're doing it that you want to do it forever?" And I was like,
what a virgin thing to
I
say.
I was like
12-year-olds.
I found the virgin. What to just
and
do
I
it
was
for-
like, "Yeah, but don't you find that after you finish that you don't even?" And he was like, "That I don't even want to look at it." Like he like finished my sentence, and I was like, "Whoa!" Like we like lost our minds.
you
at
never
it.
want to do it again.
Yeah. You're like, yeah. It was like, it's like
What
everyone
came over me?
Yeah, everyone knew. It was like this
Yeah.
weird thing where every dude in every middle school was jacking off, and then when you finally talked about it, it was such an opening moment because you're
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm not alone.
I think a big part of it. I think there was always one guy where it's like, "Hey, you jack off," and he's like, "Yeah, man, I jack off." And then all of a sudden, everyone's like, "Oh, you could say that? You could be confident about your jacking off."
Just like a cold confidence.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like, yeah.
Dude, that was the same with like
A
in-
rusty veteran.
Yeah.
It's like a guy in a police force. I've been jacking off for
You already
years.
have the mustache.
It's that one. You guys remember the one Italian kid in your middle school that got a mustache when he was like 11? Remember that? I literally remember this kid named Alphonse.
Yeah,
Alphonse had a legit mustache in 7th grade,
Oh,
which is
that's
like
so
12,
funny.
13. And he was jacking off. Like that guy was jacking off.
Yeah, dude, he had that mustache.
Hey man, you guys jack off? Yes, I jack off.
Yeah, I jack off.
Who did you talk to? Do you remember? He talked to Casey McGuan. And I talked to Brandon and my friend Scott, who's,
I think
who's
probably,
dead now. No, I'm kidding. I don't know. I'm sure he's
I
fine.
forget who I discussed jacking off with.
It's one of those
You know
things
what's
where
funny?
it's-
I think I had a friend that I was like one of my oldest friends, and so we were friends way before we were jacking off, right?
That's good.
And then
That is a soundbite if I've ever heard one.
and then
We were friends way before we were jacking off.
right? So then enter like jack off era. I made some new friends, right?
Yeah.
And once I got comfortable talking to them about jacking off, I still wasn't comfortable bringing it up around my oldest friend,
Yeah.
like as if like, I respected him or something,
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
like how I don't like talking about sex with you.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. There was like this weird, what's it called? You have to like be on your toes around me.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you're going to say
yeah.
something wrong. But here we are talking about jacking off. So
You gotta have a jerk off friend.
yeah.
Well, you've grown up now.
I'm all yeah. I'm a big guy now. Yeah, I don't like. Well, now that we're adults, it's like if you're talking about jack. I mean, here we are talking about it on the podcast,
Yeah.
but we're talking about the way we did it when we were like how it came up as
Yeah,
kids,
yeah.
which is like honestly, it's an interesting thing because you know what they don't bring up in sex ed, at least in my sex ed, is jacking off.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't come up, and by the way, it should, right?
Yeah.
Don't you think it should come up?
I learned that girls jack off. I think they just knew that guys probably knew that, so they just went all in on girls can jack
Yeah.
off, and I was like, what do I do?
Yeah. Guys were very quick to understand.
Yeah. And I was like, and they were like, a girl does this, and she's got like a spot she touches that feels good. I'm like, I want a spot that I touch that feels good. Yeah, I remember that. That was in
that's
sixth
awesome.
grade.
And
And I was in the challenge program, which is upper IQ. So
So they're telling you how to make girls come.
yeah.
Like, all right,
Yeah.
smart kids.
All these smart kids should know how to at least.
Dwayne was like, I wish I had a special spot to make me feel good, and then his boss was like,
His
boss was like, do this, and Dwayne was like, oh, that's how I do it.
I went to Catholic school, so
They didn't
that
even
was
talk
like-
about it.
Yeah, not allowed.
They had no sex ed.
They taught you about your organs. And they
Sexual
told-
organs?
Yeah, and they told you like to abstinence, but no mention of condoms.
Dude.
No mention of
That
jacking
fucking
off.
that fucking slice through of that painful slice through of a dick where you see the meat in the side.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, look at my vas deferens.
Yeah.
I went to public middle school, but I went to CCD, which is like Catholic school. At like it was like night school for Catholics almost. And they never talked about sex at all because it wasn't in regular school curriculum, which health is. So they didn't even like in CCD, it was just learning about religion. Like it was just Catholic school. Like there was no like, and now we're going to talk about this,
Yeah.
you know? And it was also, when you look back, it's always taught, like CCD was like taught by 19-year-olds in the church, you know? And you're like, you're asking them, they're telling you like, you know, what happens when you die. And it's like, all right.
Yeah, sex. There was in that same class we watched some animated video, and it shows someone going into their bedroom at night, and then you see a little mound moving up and down, and halfway down the bed.
What?
Yeah. And it's trying to say like masturbation's not bad, but then it shows like you thinking it's bad. So like lightning is striking.
His brain.
You know the little part that's bouncing.
Oh. Right.
Yeah.
But this was to teach you that it was fine.
It was a cartoon. Yeah, it was. I think it was to teach you that it was fine. Yeah,
I remember
but I still didn't get it. I didn't jerk off till like
how hard it was for you.
till like 8th grade.
That's interesting. I think
But
I
I
probably
watched that
jacked
in
off.
6th grade.
I had 6th grade too. I was public middle school or elementary school at 6th grade.
I didn't know I had a
And,
spot you could touch.
I remember they legitimately were like, if you laugh or joke around, they separated the boys and the girls, and they're like, if you laugh, you have to go to the principal. Like you'll be suspended. They like really hammered that home. Like they're like,
Oh,
take
whoa.
this serious. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It was like hyper. Like this is not funny. You need to pay attention to this.
That's cool.
Right.
Yeah. I feel like I went to a pretty progressive middle school. Well, not my middle school. My high school was hyper progressive. Old Saybrook Senior High School was like crazy progressive. That was I've told you guys, but like it was a small school, so I played the tuba and marching band, and also was the captain of the basketball team. Which I just when I hear about not your high or one of your
There were
guys'
like
high
50
school,
people in your high school, so you could do everything.
Yeah, exactly. And then I talked to people, and then like I remember one time I told I think I was on a date, like a first date, and I was like, she was like, did you play any sports? I came out. I was like, I was the captain of the basketball and tennis team. She was like, whoa, Mr. Jock. And then I was like, no, I was also in marching band. She was like, what? She was like blown away. I played marching band for the football games. Like
and then you would go out.
And then but then in winter, there was like a fight band, like a pep band. Band, and then they would play, but I would be on the court.
Yo, do you remember your school song?
I can't. No, it's been too long. You can remember yours?
We had like the color shout.
Yeah.
What about the color shout? Blue, 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 blue. White, 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 white.
Yeah, that white part doesn't age well.
That probably got switched up.
We had to
Base.
we had to coordinate with the cheerleaders. That was like the thing, because we'd be pep band and they'd do songs and we'd do chants and cheers.
We didn't have cheerleaders. We had a dance team that would come out and play the halftime in high school basketball. Yeah, we had a dance team. I remember they would wear shirts with all the seniors' names and numbers on the back.
Oh, okay.
Which was cool.
Yeah.
We had a dance team too. I think they were like first in state one year.
Oh wow,
really?
That's great.
Damn,
that's great. Yeah. Did you have? Was it all boys? Your high school?
No, we were co-ed.
You were co-ed.
Yeah,
but it was still Catholic school.
It was Catholic
all through high school.
And we were like, there's a few in our like county or something. There were definitely all boys schools and all girls schools.
Yeah.
But like we played all boys schools like in tennis and stuff.
Yeah.
And those boys were penta.
Those guys fucking sweating.
Those guys hit hard.
I couldn't honestly imagine going to an all boys school. I could not.
It'd be crazy.
It would
I
be insane.
remember knowing people who went to them. There was an all-boys Catholic school in Seattle, and then there was an all-girls Catholic school in Seattle. And I just imagine the energies radiating out of both of them.
Yeah.
What would you talk about? I feel like all high school, I was just like,
You talk about girls.
Talk about jerking off.
You talk about
they probably
jacking
just
off.
jerk off. Yeah.
Yeah. I think, well, there was a school called Xavier High School, which is all boys Catholic school.
Yeah.
And then there was Mercy, the girls one, Mercy Catholic School, girls school.
Yeah.
And they every year did a mixer dance. And I must have imagined that mixer dance was like next level, like just dudes going in there ready to. Do you guys remember grinding? That grinding must have been insane.
Yeah,
that must have been wild.
No,
times.
but they would have been so regulated. I feel like.
I don't
Catholic
know.
dances?
I feel like
people come through. Well, this is what happened at my dances. At least is everyone would start dancing. They start grinding.
Were you a grinder?
No, I
You didn't grind?
I couldn't do it.
I did it once.
I used to do it all the time.
Well,
not in high school.
Makes sense. That makes sense.
After.
You're the king.
You're the king.
Yeah.
the king grinds, bro.
But they would like come separate us, and they give you like the line, which is like enough room for the Holy Spirit or whatever.
What a
yeah.
Who knew people would actually be saying that to you?
Yeah.
But then in like 5 minutes, everyone would be back on each other.
Right.
So it would just go like every 15 minutes. They'd be like, stop.
In the line,
dude,
of the
I
Holy
love
Spirit.
slow dancing.
Slow dancing I did all the time.
Because that like forced people to actually dance with each other.
Yeah. I also did that thing in middle school. It was like our first middle school dance where I was like legit arm's length apart. Like my fingers were touching her waist.
Yeah.
And her arms were up and around my neck. I remember my buddy at the time, Sean, was like, he had a girlfriend. You know girlfriends where it's like you talk on Instant Messenger, but you're not actually.
Right.
You don't talk in person. And I had a girlfriend, Lauren, and he was dating Brittany, and I remember he came up to me at the dance and was like, dude, during the last slow dance song, I'm going to kiss Brittany, and you got to kiss Lauren. And then we were slow dancing. It was Stairway to Heaven, so it's like 8 minutes long. And then I look over, and Sean and Brittany are kissing. And I remember, I'll never forget this. I look at them kissing, not really making out, but they're just like kissing on the lips. And then I look at them, and then I look back at Lauren, and I literally was like, I can't do it. I was like, I can't.
Did you not like her?
No, I was just so nervous.
That's just a big move.
It's just, dude, at 13, I didn't end up kissing a girl till 15 or 16.
Dude, I didn't kiss a girl till I was like 19. 18.
19?
Oh,
18
really?
probably.
I was 17.
Yeah.
I was 16. 16, yeah. We made out. I remember me and my girlfriend in high school made out at a movie. and that was like big for me. That was like a big.
I remember I kissed her, and I remember being like, I don't really feel anything.
Damn.
Yeah, and then she like I had this like like black and white like what's it called like a French film where existential crisis where it's like why did I not feel
right,
you know,
Yeah.
and then she, I think I was telling her this, and then she like pulled me outside. I know,
The
right?
king.
I
Told her
couldn't
this.
believe that I had a girlfriend ever. And then she pulled me outside and like kissed under the moonlight and stuff, and like tried to make it like romantic. And then I lied and said it was romantic because I was like, what am I supposed to
Yeah, you don't want to hurt
do at this
feelings.
point? It's just like a kiss was so nothing.
So when
you
did
know?
you feel it?
Yeah, you must have felt it eventually.
This
Oh,
weekend?
yeah, eventually.
Dwayne's like,
Eventually,
have you guys felt it? I haven't felt it yet.
like you know
It's
when
too.
like like the first time you like slow dance or you slow dance with someone and you're like, oh, like just touching and being close to someone feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
that nervous
expected
energy.
that to also happen with kissing, but none of that was there. Maybe
Well,
you
I
know,
will-
And so, but maybe it was also nervous energy. But I don't know.
I will say, I think kissing, when I first kissed at like 16, I remember just being so nervous that I was going to be bad at it that that clouded my ability to fall into the romance of it.
Maybe it's like
You know?
weed. It doesn't work the first time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, burp into the mic.
burp mic.
Oh, it's gonna be one
We're
of those
supposed to be
podcasts.
classy.
It's gonna be one of those
Well,
podcasts.
you hand out these LaCroix, and I'm like, here we go. About to burping.
Yeah, that'll get you there. Sorry, fellas. No, I think that's normal as long as you have felt it since you felt.
Oh
it
yeah, I
romantic
have
kiss.
felt closeness.
I felt love.
I have felt love.
I have felt love. The robot says, his eyes blink horizontal. Yeah, it's not.
I mean,
yeah.
kissing's not really my favorite anyway.
I like kissing actually. I think it's
I'm
fun.
pretty into it. It's pretty fun.
Making out is fun.
Yeah.
It's really fun.
And it's a
If you're
So-
good at like if the two of you and you have that joke about it, but if you align, it's great.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're both on the same page,
Yeah.
then it's good. But if it's bad, it's like
Do you remember when you used to just make out
yeah,
like forever?
Yeah.
I still do that. I still do that.
Oh man.
So wait, so like if it was your choice, you would have sex without kissing.
No, not that.
That would be psychotic.
Yeah,
That would be
no,
psychotic.
not like that. More like, I don't want to feel like the kissing is never ending.
Oh, okay. It's got to progress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I get that.
Well, you
Nice
get
little
all
pecks here and there. That's all nice stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah, I get what you
kiss
mean.
on the cheek is always sweet. Like if you're in a
Yeah.
couple, you like kiss on the cheek. That's really nice.
I think
But
it's
for me,
fun.
just like making out, like I could once I progressed past that, I could not look back.
Well,
Like
you-
just making out for the sake of making out, I
Well,
could never do that.
I
You've
think
never
it's-
gone on a first date? Then I'm sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say it's fun. Like it's like an Adult Swim show where you're like 15 minutes and you're like that was fun, but this cannot be any longer. It's
Dude,
like this-
15 is
this
still long. Like, okay, here's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
most I would make out. Is like saying goodbye, and then you kiss a few times, and you kiss a few more times, and then maybe a few more times. But after that, it's like, all right, this either has to go somewhere or I'm going home.
Well, I was gonna
I
say, I
got
think
stuff to do.
I think my biggest thing with making out in my past is on dates. If you make out on a date, it's like saying goodbye. You like walk her to the stoop and then you kiss and then you start making out. But it's like after that, it's like okay, goodbye. Or it's
Yeah.
like you go and if you end up doing that. But it's mostly like all right, good night.
Right,
It's you're right about that.
Well,
it doesn't keep going forever.
Yeah.
You don't make out for an hour on
it's
a
fun
stoop.
for
Yeah.
a short amount of time.
Yeah.
Well,
So I've had
here-
that.
Here's an example. I once dated a girl who turned out she didn't want to have sex until after she was married, I guess.
Mhm.
Right. Respect. Honestly.
And so,
Honestly,
like,
respect.
we would make out, and then, like maybe try almost go a little further, and then it would stop, and then it was like I just didn't even want to make out now, because it's like it didn't make sense to me,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Right.
So then it didn't work out, you know. I wasn't like, I don't know, but just. Oh, okay. So we're just gonna make out, and then we're gonna stop making out. That was I don't know. Is that weird?
Yeah. No, I don't
that
think
makes
that's
sense.
weird. I think it's just I think my boy likes to get laid and he wants it to progress all the way. But gotta respect people's wishes, and if they want to make out, you make out. and you got to be okay with that.
But would you date? Well, I mean, here's the thing: is I learned that I can't date someone because this was like I was still young. It's like I can't date someone who's not going to.
I would have
sex.
to know. I would have to know. There's no way I can commit my whole life to someone.
Well, that's
who
the
I've
main thing.
never had
Sex
sex
is
with.
so important to a relationship.
Yeah.
That when people are hyper religious and they wait for marriage, it's like, imagine that first night and it sucks, and then you're like, oh no, I have to
Yeah.
get a divorce to stop having sex with this woman.
Here's my kind
Or
of theory
man, or
on
whatever.
sex is like it's 10% of the relationship, but you need it 100%. It's like the bathroom in a house.
Yeah.
It only takes
Yeah.
up 10% of the floor space, but you are not buying a house without a bathroom.
Yeah,
Exactly.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
Well, they always say when you stop having sex, that's the end of a relationship.
Yeah.
And honestly,
If you get
if our bathroom blew up, we'd move.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'd
we'd have to
definitely
get out of here.
We
We
couldn't
couldn't.
live here very long.
We couldn't stay here.
Yeah, yeah.
We'd have to tell Chuck, "Hey, man, our bathroom doesn't work. We're moving to
listen.
Woodside."
I've had to go elsewhere for bathrooms.
Yeah, yeah. That's an analogy if I've ever heard one.
Sex is a lot like a bathroom.
It is.
That's your opening bit tonight at the show.
I think it's actually, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's actually a Tommy John again bit.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, I
About
think,
the bathroom?
I think that one exists. I think it's on
What?
stand-up comedy too.
No.
People.
You're stealing his bits
No!
on the
Oh,
podcast.
sorry, we're also doing
Is it
talking about a
really?
makeout bit earlier. So
Whose makeout bit? His? No, yours.
no, I do a makeout bit, but it's he
He's
also
got
does
a bathroom
bit.
related to sex bit?
I think
That's been a theory I've
is-
had for so long. I
That's
was so
funny.
proud of it.
That's so funny.
Tommy,
yeah,
if you're listening, write into the podcast.
yeah.
Like and subscribe.
You're the
yeah.
best. Please do more stand-up.
Yeah, we missed you.
Yeah, I think it's on stand-up comedy too. It's one of the last bits on there.
I was quoting your making out bit though.
Yeah,
I was I wasn't quoting. I was referencing it, which is just like a bad makeout sucks.
yeah. A bad makeout
So-
does suck.
Yeah,
That's nice.
Yeah.
it is. I think it's just an analogy though. That's just a good.
Oh,
Well,
well,
if
yeah.
it's used
That's
as a
the thing.
bit,
that
then.
you came up with it independently, which means
cool.
which means you're a genius.
Dude,
it means you're as smart as Tommy John.
Nice. I had
Thomas
a comedic.
Johnicus.
I had a analogy that I really loved that turns out who's the comic that's clean that yells all the time?
Clean that yells.
Brian
Brian
Regan?
Regan.
Brian Regan. Apparently he does a whole bit on it, but it was like it's like why do babies cry so much when they lose a balloon? It's like it's their life savings, And he
Yeah.
does a whole that'd be like, the
That'd
baby,
be
it's
like-
like its wallet is like flying up and you're like, "No, my wallet."
Oh, yeah. I saw a kid. I think I was in Manhattan, but I saw a kid actively lose a balloon, like on my way to work. It is like tough. It's tough
You
to
feel
watch.
for him too.
Well, just the kid's face is like in that moment. I think the kid realizes life is going to be unfair, and that's a tough thing to watch a kid have to come.
Dude,
to
a
terms with.
balloon going up is like it teases you for a little while.
It's
where
like
you're
maybe
it's
it will
up,
not,
Yeah,
it'll
yeah,
come
yeah,
back. Yeah.
and then it's just gone.
Yeah,
What
and
do
the kid, what made it more sad is he like didn't go like wah, like he didn't cry. He looked at it. He had this. He almost was like, oh, like it was like one of those, like a real, like
It's
he
a
was
deep
let,
sadness.
Yeah, he was
Yeah, yeah.
let
Oh,
down.
man.
Yeah, I remember I saw a kid when I was like back home. This is probably a couple years ago, but I was at a place called Harkness Park in Connecticut, and a kid lost a kite, and it was like the same
Oh my God.
experience.
Dude,
A
a
kite
kite-
is probably worse because it's
yeah.
more expensive.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
put time into that kite.
Yeah.
Usually.
Have you guys done kites? Is
Oh,
that a
dude,
thing?
I used
tried
to
as a kid.
love
I could
kiting.
never-
I'm on your side, which is like it is hard.
No, you have to.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of people. The trick to doing it first time is you got to get a double string one, because those single string ones are like they're too hard to move around. You can't really move them around. You just got to get them up. They're not fun. The two strings, like do loop to loops and shit. It's
Yeah,
so
I
much
know.
fun. And you have to have someone throw it up too.
Yeah. Well, you need a partner in it. It's usually like a father-son activity,
Yeah.
which I really missed the boat on. So
Yeah. Why is that?
Oh yeah.
that and catch, I really, I missed
yeah.
the boat.
Yeah. For
on
the
those.
listeners, you don't have a dad.
Yeah, which is a lot like how I didn't go to college.
That's right. One of our oldest bits.
One of the funniest comparisons.
Now that it's a podcast, I do feel comfortable retelling that story, so I'm going to retell it.
Yeah.
because the listeners don't know, and it's just
Yeah.
one of my favorite stories. We were at a hang. I'll tell this story first. Actually, you tell this one about at the hang at our friend's house.
Oh, yeah,
where
yeah.
we're talking about college.
Yeah.
And then at one point, there's like a lull in the conversation, and there's like three. It's like us three and like 4 girls, and it's going great.
And we're all
Everybody's
kind of
laughing.
flirting.
Yeah, we're all flirting. We're having a good time, and we're crushing. And then there's a lull, but we're talking about college, and there's a lull, and I just look at Dwayne and I go, Dwayne, you didn't go to college, right? In front of all of the girls.
No, what was incredibly funny about it is how much it hurt, and how
But
much
I
you
didn't-
meant it casually.
I did, like,
and how
genuinely-
like those words just didn't sound bad at all.
And here's
everyone's saying like, "Oh, I went to this, I went to this." Hey, Dwayne, you didn't go to college, right?
It was one of those things where, and this is how it correlates to the other story, is it was genuine. It was genuinely like trying to keep
Yeah.
the conversation going. So one time,
Well, the problem with saying you don't go to college is it's one of those things that just sounds bad inherently.
it's a stigma.
You literally said exactly facts.
yeah.
You know, and it's like it just sounds bad.
Well, it's a social stigma.
Where'd you go to school? I didn't.
But honestly, now in like 2019 and like everything with debt and everything, like you not going to college, I think is the best decision.
I've
you've
never
ever.
looked at a prospective job and had the interviewer be like, "Hey, you know what? You made a good choice financially not going to college. You're hired."
But also, you make the most money in the house. So, and we went to college. So,
Yeah, you learned a
But-
skill.
you learned an actual, you have like an actual ability.
Yeah, I mean, it's just working on a computer.
I know, but still, it's like one of those. My point I'm trying to make is you should not feel low about not going to
Oh
college.
yeah, I
Like,
don't.
at
I don't.
all.
I don't.
Yeah.
But it's just so hard to
Hear
say it.
Yeah, it was tough.
No, but not even that. There's just no proper way to say it, so you
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah.
It's like
Right.
where you. If I'm on a date, where'd you go to school? I didn't.
Well, this now jumps into the next story.
Now I say
which,
I dropped out because then
Yeah.
it just sounds better.
Yeah,
Well, it correlates with this next story because we're talking about dating, and on first dates, I don't know my father anymore. He left my family when I was very young,
Right.
and it always comes up on first dates usually because a girl will be like talking to me, and she'll be like, "Well." I'll be like, "Oh, my mom does this," and whatever, which is fine. And then she goes, "And what does your dad do?" And then I have to be like, "Oh, I don't," and I have to say it. I have to like tell them on a first date this like heavy piece of historical sadness
I don't
in my
actually
life.
have a dad.
Yeah, I'm actually quite fatherless myself, and so I'm saying this to Dwayne, and we're all hanging out, and then Dwayne, in all genuineness, with no hint of making fun of me, goes, "That's like me having to explain that I didn't go to college to girls." And I was like, immediately, "Oh, is it, Dwayne? Is it like that?"
Well, my brain makes fantastic connections. So.
Yeah, but that's the thing. In just like the first story, though, you said that without trying to be an asshole,
Yeah.
and it just
Yeah.
happened to come across that way.
Your response to that, I think you got up and walked away, and you were like, "Is it? Is it, Dwayne?"
I don't think we laughed.
You were joke angry,
Yeah,
but it was
we
still-
definitely laughed immediately because it was one of those ones. But yeah, the one on the roof was like just I didn't read it right. I didn't think about it before I said it. It was just
there was
trying
an
to.
audience too, which was like,
Yeah.
it was like right in front of these girls, be like,
Yeah.
you're uneducated.
Well, it was right. It was like I went here, I went here, I went here. Lull in the conversation, like a dip, all
Yeah.
super quiet, and then beat, and then Twain. You didn't go to college, right?
You know what that would be? That would be in like an ABC Family movie, like a teen movie,
Yeah.
where a kid is a rich asshole kid character. He would say that to the like poor kid.
Yeah, someone
to make
from
him
Connecticut.
Look, he would say that to make that other guy feel shitty in front of other kids, and that's exactly how it played out. Which is hilarious because like I didn't even
Well, maybe that rich kid in the ABC drama also didn't know.
Yeah, that's true. Well, usually I was trying to make the point that he's like a bully to whoever that new kid is.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a stereotype character where it's like,
Oh yeah, definitely.
like the posh douche kid.
Mm-hmm.
It's like in Gilmore Girls, the
Yeah.
what's his name who she goes to college with. It's
Oh.
or no, sorry, when she's in high school.
Logan or
No, Chad Michael Murray's guy. It's
Oh,
like that
yeah,
guy.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like that guy character.
Yeah. You know, I heard my dad say one time. Someone's like, "Oh, where'd you go to school?" He's like, "No, I just started working." I'm like, "Started working?
That's
I'm
cool.
like, "That's a cool one."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to
I
this
just started chilling.
You didn't say I started crushing.
started crushing.
What'd you do
Yeah.
after high school? I immediately started crushing. No, that reminds me when This is kind of, now that I look back, it's kind of messed up, but like my high school would say, here's where all the seniors are going. When we graduate, they put out this thing, and it was like Casey McGowan is going to Manhattanville College, enrolling in 2010, right? And it would be like, this person's going to Yale, and you could see that that person's going to Yale or whatever. And then every once in a while, you'd see a kid that would be like, you know, Curtis so-and-so is going to work.
It was like they killed him.
Sounds like he's going to the coal mines.
Which honestly, looking back, if I'm Curtis, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, that's so messed up.
He's going to work. Punching in every day for the rest of my life.
Yeah, and I remember reading that thing being like, and like I feel like kids are like, oof. It just has that tinge of like,
Be like,
oh,
yo,
no.
I'm not working.
I'm taking a gap year.
I'm taking a gap year. I'm going backpacking in Europe. He's like rich. This guy's going to work.
Oh man,
going right into the real world.
Send him into the mines.
Yeah. He's digging for gold. Like it's Omaha or something. This is Old Saybrook, Connecticut, you know? Oh, man. There's so many of those little things looking back, like all those like superlatives. Those are just ways to hurt your feelings, you know, certain people.
You don't even really think of it.
Did you guys get any that you can
I
think
didn't
of?
get any of those,
you
no.
got everything because it's like Bill Burr's joke about the you get rid of all the population, everyone gets to play football in the Super Bowl. You got to do everything. At your
you
high-
were
you
a
got
small
all the
school.
superlatives.
I didn't get one.
No.
No?
Oh,
Damn.
out of 50 people?
Yo, now you're getting roasted.
Self-roast.
There were like
Did you get one?
4,000 people in my school. I think 800. No, maybe like 600 graduating.
Okay.
No, did not.
Did you get one?
No, but I was also kind of small. Mine was like 150. So,
Right.
but yeah, there's like best. It's like the people you'd expect. It was always like
Yeah.
the 10 people who are like,
Some
Yeah.
10
They're the
people that somehow
homecoming.
the entire school knew.
yeah, it's weird.
That is weird.
They're
At
like,
my school, everybody, we knew it. It was all, you know?
yeah, like this is the prom court.
Yeah.
This is the it's
Ooh.
Everyone
ASB
voted,
or
right?
whatever.
People actually
No,
voted.
we had a committee. We had a committee that made
For
the decision.
superlatives?
Yeah. Which, like, honestly,
I don't know
you're
about
like,
that.
you're like,
That
come
seems
on,
a
bro.
little.
That seems a little
yeah.
corrupt.
Yeah, yeah.
You're telling me, sister.
Like you
I
can
mean,
pay off.
I should be best eyes. What the fuck?
Dude, I did get someone did like a group photo, like sometimes it's just random photos throughout the year and stuff.
Yeah.
I did get one of those, and I was asked to do the caption. I struggled so hard
What'd you
with
say?
the proper
What was
caption.
what was the photo first?
It was us looking up, and they were on the second floor shooting down at us. There's like
Yeah.
6 of us or something,
Uh-huh.
and I was tasked with coming up with the tagline, and I said, "We saw Mufasa in the sky." So
Oh yeah,
'cause we're all
yeah.
looking up,
kinda-
you know.
it's
Yeah,
kinda
it wasn't
nice.
bad,
It's a Disney ref.
Yeah.
People like
I'm
Diz.
so glad I didn't go dirty. Didn't go blue. I'd be
Dude.
so ashamed of
Yeah.
it.
Just
Oh.
you read that yearbook.
Yeah.
When I was
Where you saw someone jacking off.
Just saw Mufasa jacking off.
Dwayne Cullen, class of 03. No, I remember I did get in sophomore year, I got nominated for Homecoming Prince. They did that.
Oh shit.
So I got nominated. I did not win, but everybody voted at the dance. It said, "Here's the nominees," and I was nominated for Prince that year because I was the new kid. I had just moved to Old Saybrook,
Oh.
so they were like, "Let's give the new kid a nod, see if he can crown this title." And I did not.
Oh, you didn't step up.
I didn't step up to the plate, but I will say, speaking of being dirty in yearbooks, a kid wrote a really dirty. You know when everybody signs your
Dude, I
yearbook.
used to always write dirty jokes, and I regret that so much.
Well,
now.
here's the thing. My mom's ended up seeing that in my yearbook. This dude wrote like a dirty joke message to me that was just like all explicit stuff. And my mom took a Sharpie without me knowing and crossed out his stuff to me.
that's so
Whoa.
fun.
Yeah,
That's hilarious.
Yeah, because everybody else was so nice, and I remember back then to like do the bit that we do, but like the kid was like, "I'm gonna write something dirty," and like back then I was like, "Yeah." but now, honestly, I look at it in the same eyes that you have, which is like you feel like you're like, "Man, I
If I
just
had
want
to show this to my kids. or
Yeah,
something,
you
it's
just
like,
want someone to be like, "Have a great summer."
Dude, my
You know?
favorite
That's all
one.
you want now that you're older.
At the blank page down the center, you wrote "Knick Knack, Paddywhack. I'm the first to sign your crack."
Oh,
that was
so
that's
good.
fun.
That was the
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
That's fun.
That's fun.
Yeah.
That's not that dirty.
No. I mean, it felt dirty. though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to write dumb jokes.
Like what?
Like,
what, do you remember
I
one?
used to write like, "What's long, hard, and full of semen," and I'd write a submarine.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
not so subtle. On
Yeah,
that
I
one.
would spell it SEAMAN.
I think the kid that wrote the one that my mom like crossed off. I think legitimately the kid was like, "I'm jacking off." Like it legitimately was
Don't
that
jack
dirty.
off
like-
too much in summer. That
Yeah,
people used to
yeah.
write that.
I know.
Hope you
Yeah,
have fun
yeah.
jacking
No,
off all
yeah.
summer.
It's just
Oh,
Calvin,
man,
Calvin
we
peeing.
cannot say jack off on the next episode.
Yeah, I think we may have burned through our jacket.
Also, I will say this episode, I love it, and I think if people like it, this is the episode to decide if
this is
you're going to
probably
be in
good.
on this.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh man, I can't wait till we start showcasing our bits, like our
Oh.
house bits. You know.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we just did the yeah. That was
yeah.
that's a Damian original, but now has kind of showcased
yeah.
itself
Yeah.
into that.
When people are getting gassed up in a
Yeah,
room.
yeah.
Like,
People are getting their engines revved.
Right.
People are getting
for something like controversial or dirty or something.
Yeah. You do see it though. You see it all the time at Mike's.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Like you see like men being like, yeah, in the darkness.
Yeah.
Men love to get riled up, man. Like that's like, especially at open mics when as soon as someone says something that's like, "Yo, I'm about to fuck this girl," and everyone's like, "Yo, yeah."
Yeah.
Oh man.
How are we?
I think we're doing all right. The meter, it doesn't showcase how long we're recording for.
Okay.
But I can check the video.
Oh, does
But
it?
yeah.
can't see
It's
how
what happened before when I thought it was stopped.
If we're asking, does that mean that we're
No.
there?
Oh
Maybe.
no, maybe I don't
Depends
know.
on how-
Didn't you have anything? You didn't have. Do you have anything you wanted to get through, or did you?
like-
You had something
Like topics?
Yeah, I thought you
Well,
had something. I'm gonna check the thing while we.
Yeah, one thing I was gonna bring up is the boys had taken some time off drinking off or drinking off. The guys took some time off from drinking, and
Yeah.
Casey's supposed to break that streak tonight.
Oh,
Yeah.
you're gonna drink tonight?
That's why I brought the bottle of wine.
I was
Nothing
maybe going on
crazy,
a
but-
reflection of the sober months.
Yeah, well, I did like 2 months basically.
Yeah,
2
yeah,
months
that's pretty
fully sober. You
Nice
did
work.
you did a month.
Yeah, did a
You
month.
maintained that you did a month, even though my Mandela effect told me that you did like 3 weeks, like 3 days.
I
but,
definitely
you
did a
know.
month. It felt like a month.
Yeah,
it was definitely a
no.
month.
The two of us. I remember the two of us were in it for a while. Like me and Dwayne were both.
Well, the weird thing about a month
Hyper-sober.
is it's not long enough to be sober. If you want like good benefits from like quitting,
That's why I did the
it
2 months.
reminds you that you shouldn't drink. It's
Yeah.
not long enough to like cure yourself.
That's why I did the 2 months, because I actually lost weight. I lost 10 pounds.
Yeah,
I
that's
dropped
great.
weight. Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah. So that was like. Also, my anxiety got so heavy pumped though for some reason. I remember telling you guys that.
Yeah.
But just like everything was turned up to 150 all the time.
Because
Yeah.
you
In the
weren't drinking.
beginning. Yeah, a little bit, and it was also just like, you know, when you set something up in your head where you're like, this is my new thing, and you're just so hyper focused on that like your energy gets like
Yeah.
just higher, I guess.
Oh yeah.
So I just had this higher energy, and I will say I did flourish in the sense that like I could stay out all night with you guys, or like I remember I went to Alon's birthday party till 3 a.m. And then the next morning I was up and felt great, and I went and I saw a movie. I think we went and saw Detective
Yeah.
Pikachu or something, like, you know.
Yeah.
I remember being like, oh, I can do anything that I want,
Right.
yeah.
like all
You
the
don't
time.
feel trapped in your house,
Yeah.
afraid to leave.
Well, I remember one time you and I woke up in the morning and you go, man, I love that I could go to the grocery store and not have it be an event. Because there was so many times. I remember one time you and I went to the grocery store and you were hungover. I was not drinking, or I was not hungover. And you started to get a little, it's a little like if you're hungover, you just get like that anxiety attack energy just from going to the grocery store,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
is normal. I feel like most people
Yeah.
feel that.
The anxiety.
Yeah, the anxiety.
Yeah.
Get you. But yeah, we are at this video, which I
Yeah.
restarted. We are now at an hour, which means we are at like
So an hour and a half.
hour 20. Yeah, hour 17.
Okay,
I would
that's
say.
probably pretty good.
That's probably a good spot to end.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's
We'll let everyone get back to work.
Yeah.
Their desk office.
Yeah.
This podcast for me is what I want. What podcasts do for me. Like, I want this for people to be what like Joe Rogan is for me at work.
Yeah.
Which is just like, get out of the fucking nonsense of a
Yeah.
day job for
I
an
love
hour.
the chill podcast.
I love a chill podcast. I don't like guests because I feel like I should be zoned in on what they're being interviewed about.
Yeah.
And if I have that, I feel like I can't just crush. And this is
Right.
like the whole point to this, I think, is that we're just crushing.
Yeah, it's just a party in your head.
Yeah.
Party in your
Yeah.
Well,
Catchphrase.
eventually, we want the crushers,
Oh.
potential fan base. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
The
or
crushers,
or just more Crush Boys.
or more Crush Boys,
Yeah.
to feel like you're in.
Girls
with
can be
us.
Crush Boys,
Of
too.
course,
Yeah,
of course. Everybody can be a
Of course.
Crush Boy,
Yeah.
but we want you guys to feel like you're hanging out with us. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
ultimate goal for the way I feel, at least. And this is exactly, if anyone's wondering, this is exactly what Saturday would be like.
Pretty much. Yeah. I don't,
You guys want to come over?
Yeah. But we're gonna do this. This is our first episode. We're gonna do this weekly. We haven't said what day of the week it's gonna come out. Yeah, we haven't decided that.
Whatever
but
day it drops is probably the day it'll continue to drop.
drop every week.
Yeah.
So listen in. Subscribe to the. This is gonna be on the podcast app. It's gonna be on Spotify. It's gonna be called Crush Boys. I'm gonna set up an email. We'll get the email. I'll add it with all the description of everything.
Sick.
And then if you guys want to plug your social media, so that way if people actually listen to this, like, they can look us up,
Yeah.
follow us. So
I'm Damian Holmes. It's Damian Holmes with 2 S's. There's 2 S's at the end.
I thought it was gonna be like, I'm Damian Holmes, which is at Damian Holmes.
I am Dwayne Cullen, at Dwayne Cullen. Dwayne spelled like The Rock.
Nice.
And Cullen is
Instagram too for you guys, right? It's the same.
Yeah, same.
And
Just
then
Google me.
Yeah. And then I'm Casey McGowan with 2 N's on Instagram and Twitter.
Nice.
You did the same.
Yeah.
You got the 2
Wow.
Yeah,
consonants.
Well,
at
it's
the
way
end.
better than
Yeah.
doing the real.
The real,
Yeah, the
or,
real Damian Holmes.
or our president famously, is the real Donald Trump.
Yeah.
That's actually one of my favorite jokes of Greg Warner's.
Oh, yeah.
It's like one of his OG jokes about that. Greg, if you're listening, I love that bit. But
It's a good bit, Greg.
It's a great bit, buddy. But I will also set up a Instagram account for the podcast.
Yeah.
So follow the podcast, Crush Boys. We'll post daily clips. You'll hear Damian saying, I remember jacking off. There was jacking off and jerking off. So we'll have that. And then the YouTube channel. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Please.
A lot of podcasts do just audio, but I think we're definitely going to do the video every time because we all watch podcasts. Let's be honest at this point. We're all on YouTube.
And be sure to comment below. Let us know, jacking off or jerking.
That's right.
Yes,
We got-
please.
Did you always jack off, or did you used to jerk off and now jack off?
No. Did you used to jack off, then jerk off, but now you're back to jacking off?
Yeah.
I said that like Dan Licata. It's hard to do like voices, or it's hard to talk like that, and not slip into that voice.
All right, awesome.
We'll see you guys next week.
Yeah. See you
Next
next
week.
week.
See you guys.